Okay, we're going live into the British Mirror in Game 1. Map is Kamchatka, Hatamoto Samurai for the Nilla Ninjas, and Minimoult for the Mandarin Duck Squad. And straight away I want to see the players go into the middle of the map because that's where the goats are and where usually good treasure spawn.
Yeah, that's true. And also you get the goats as well, so you can also pick that. That's pretty nice.
Yeah. Having a quick look at the map, it seems alright to me. No hunt is missing, they're a bit shuffled around, and also the coin mines are fine, I think.
Yeah, it looks fine for me too.
And it is a 300 wood start, so both players will most likely go just for 2 manas and then age up with 17 villagers, I believe. And in the Brits Mirror, the age up time to Colonial is very important because it gives you a big tempo lead.
Yeah, that's true. You can also go for the trading post and go a little bit greedier on the Virginia company, but let's see.
Yeah, I think if you do that, it's kind of making the play that you will win the long game, but you can get choked out of map control, which can be risky. And I think the macaque spawns slightly better for Minimal, so he's earlier in the middle and already a fight breaking out. Freitag versus Freitag, but the blue Freitag is lower HP. And Minimoult also got the first 2 goats.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. They both scouted the 80 coin and yeah, they're just shooting over the middle of the map. And look at this, he just got 4 goats. Nice use of the mech out there.
Yeah, that's pretty good for him. His opponent doesn't have any goats so far, but the blue macaque, I'm going in the north of the map, I'm probably gonna find some. But also very nice for Minimoult, he's able to bully Hatamoto Samurai Explorer off the map and kinda zone him off, so he gets more scouting down, and Hacha just has to retreat all the time because he has less HP on his hero.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it makes him not to contest any of the treasures because he has low HP. So if he goes for the treasure, he'll just risk losing his explorer. So
Yeah, and 2 big wood treasures being spotted in this area. Probably both players gonna be sticking around here trying to get it at some point. Macaque coming in. I don't think the macaque can snare, can it?
I'm not sure, but yeah, it is annoying.
Yeah, for sure, but it's very low HP now, and I think you wanna preserve it to gather up treasures later. I know the explorers parting ways a bit, and already can see some early herding coming out from Harcha and also from Minimoult actually. Both players at 17 pop, which is the ideal point, and Harcha a bit in the advantage looking at the food count, so he will be able to age a bit quicker.
Yeah, it looks like he macroed it perfectly and got the hunts a little closer. So yeah, he's gonna age sooner than Minimoult.
Yep, and the Explorer Ball still continuing. No big treasures being picked up except for the macaque. They only have picked up a macaque so far.
Oh, look at this. He's eating the goats to age up faster now. So both
That's
of these
nice.
guys are just gonna age up the same time now.
Yep, 250. So dead even, and now all the villagers gonna get switched to wood. Actually, Minimoult a little bit behind on that, but probably wants to get some food in the bank for Gangsaw and the first villa in Colonial.
Yeah. Still, the fight is going on between the explorers, and looks like yeah, Minimote lost his mecha.
Yep, I can't see it anymore. Must have gotten shot by someone. And 2 villagers going forward, building a manor. So there will be 3 villagers in the middle. I think normally to save walking time, you just wanna build one house in the middle, and that gives you the second villager you need to drop down the racks first.
Look at these 2 guys just building manor house in the middle.
Yeah, and a manor house coming straight up in the chalk. This will give him some nice vision. Currently both players at equal mana pop, and also the same amount in the queue, so dead even so far.
Yeah, Hadamedo Samurai just managed to pick up 75 foot, so he's ahead in the treasure now after all that fighting in H1.
That's true. He did get bullied around, but Minimoult really couldn't convert that into an advantage. Now 75 food will allow him to train the musket batches a bit quicker and with more units.
Yeah, he basically gets 1 free musket out of that type of treasure.
Yeah, and this can be big in the beginning. Let's see.
Oh,
Neither player
so
has. Oh yes, look at this. Harcha has his
yeah,
explorer in position. He's gonna snare the outpost wagon, and minimoult not doing that.
yeah, but Hadamar Samurai aged with 500 food, whereas Minimal aged with the tower. So
Oh, that's interesting. But
yeah, so
minimoult hasn't scouted this yet. It's a slightly
and we
greedier
should see a
play.
rack soon from Hadamar Samurai if he's going to find a food.
Yeah, maybe he just kinda wants to concede the middle of the map and go for some sort of tech play like we saw Lord Raphael do in the New World Championship, because 500 food usually indicates you're playing more greedy, and not having the tower in the middle is gonna hurt you big when you try to fight for that map control.
Yeah, Minimote already has the map control, and I like the play from Minimote. He's getting racks as soon as possible, so now he's gonna be in a Musk advantage because just now Hadamar is getting his racks up, so he's gonna be late in the army mass. So
Yeah, already 5 musks out for minimoult, and longbow in the queue for Hatamoto Samurai, so he
yeah,
clearly is going to defend here.
yeah, this Musk discount is pretty huge actually. If you just play this right, you can just snowball into victory. So we have to see how Hadamar Samurai deals with this. Oh, he's going for second racks.
Oh, he gets a villager,
That
that's
might
big.
Yeah, that might compensate actually the Musketeer's mask. Yeah, he got one villager there. It's pretty.
But still the recalculated pop dead, even maybe minimoult idled a bit his
Ooh,
TC.
look at this, making longbows.
Yep. And if minimoult can get his explorer in there to snare them, longbows don't do too well against musketeers, and very nicely pulling back the low HP one, since they are quite poor at kiting and the moving shooting playstyle that muskets excel at. And still more longbows in the queue for Harcher. Another villager maybe going down? Nope.
Yeah,
And more longbows coming out.
yeah, he might be able to pull with the Minuteman if he has the resources. Yeah, there we go, Minuteman coming in. So where's his explorer? He needs to snare the Musk there.
Explorer out of position, can't see it. It's dead in the map actually, and yeah, minimoult can just go back and be happy with the damage he did. He killed a villager and he forced the Minuteman can, although he might get cut off here and getting a 40 wood treasure while he's at it.
Oh, he's shipping 6 Musk there.
Wow, Harcher's really feeling the pressure here. This is a big
Yeah, I
big
think that's
commitment.
a bit of overreaction maybe. That
Yeah,
6 Musk is just putting behind in the economy. So now he needs to push now.
yeah, he needs to make something happen with these 6 musk, and 6 musk barely enough to kill a musket here, but he gets some nice picks here, and also his units are in a better position to reinforce the middle. But still, like, pushing against this outpost is quite difficult.
Yeah, that's true. So we see more Musk coming from Minimote and Longbows and Musk made from Hadamar Samurai. So pretty nice early composition, so you can counter the Musk easily.
Yeah, and although minimoult did send 600 wood, 300 of that still sitting in the bank, and that's why okay, now the military unit, the economic unit population jumped up a bit, and he's gonna get ahead more and more, and he has the map and he has the economy to back it up, so he's in a very fine spot here, and even gonna kill the mana house, which gives more XP in the newest patch.
Yeah, that's true. That gives you 80 XP. That's really big. Oh, yeah. Minimal's just going for the standard build. 3 villagers, 700 wood, 605 villagers. But Hadamar Samurai, I think he shipped 6 musketeers, and that's kind of overreaction. But he needs to make something happen with this army.
Yeah, he has been reacting very strongly to the very subtle plays of minimoult, and yeah, edging with 500 food and going defensive, and sending 6 musks makes him quite vulnerable here. He's gonna pick up his explorer so he has more scouting ability and also more snare potential in this guy, and he's pushing in quite deep. Is he going for a raid?
Yeah, I think so. He didn't go and siege the barracks, so I think he's just going to go for the raid. And even Minimal doing the same here.
Yep, minimoult pushing in the base and realizing that the opponent's army is out of position, and he's probably going to get 1 or 2 villagers here. A wall coming up in the north to block further raiding, but that's not really where the pressure point is at. And let's see if Hatamoto can get any villager picks. This could be something here.
Yeah, he might pick one villager there. But meanwhile, he's losing a lot of villagers here.
Yep. And no musketeers upgrades so far. Let's have a look at the villagers lost. 2 lost for Hatamoto Samurai, and he is behind by 4 now. 3 now lost.
And also the idle time by forced by minimoult. That's big.
Yeah.
So military-wise, it is in favor of blue because there are Minutemen alive there, but yeah, but I think in the musketeers count, definitely minimoult is ahead. Or yeah.
Hold on, I'm just adjusting one setting here. Okay.
Oh, look at the snare from the explorer, just snaring the whole group of fools.
Yep. Costing like maybe 5 or 6 food in walking time, and the military lead is in favor of Archer right now because minimoult is stacking quite a lot of coins, 600 that is. More villagers getting pushed around here. But still quite, so far the game is quite even. I don't know how the mill pop advantage came into being for Archer.
I think it's all because of the 6 musketeers, and Minimal didn't go for the second rack, so he just sticking on the 1v1 racks production of musketeers, so that's why their military count is low.
And another villager going down. Now it's 3 to 4, so quite even. But of course the 600 watt wood shipment still giving minimoult the advantage. And yeah, it's coming to a point where Archer is really struggling for hunts. This one is contested, and this guy has been standing here for quite a while and not been moving very much.
Yeah. Blue just needs to put all units together and then kill these musketeers one by one. Then, yeah, look at this. I like this one. He's just keeping his units just on the resources and denying it.
Yep, some smart tactics coming in from Archer. But these longbowmen are not the best unit to be running around on the map. The explorer again snaring the villagers here.
Yeah, the melee explorer is pretty annoying.
Yeah,
I think if you just go with units in the middle of the map, I think Hadamoto can just deny all these resources, and then he's just ahead in the military and then can win from there.
Yeah, saying that, actually minimoult has caught up a bit, but he's getting distracted by all the raids that Archer's throwing around in his base. Now he's getting pushed in the middle, and here Archer has definitely the advantage. Many units just standing idle on other parts of the map, and this is gonna cost him dearly.
Yeah, I don't know that. I don't know why Minimoult's gathering on the middle of the map. Maybe he's just thinking that Rax is near him, so he might be able to hold. But yeah, this Hans is just costing a lot of walking time, and now this might be the fight actually.
Yeah, the reinforcements are now coming in from the north, but it's too late. The fight is already has already been a very good trade for Archer, and he killed 12 villagers in total, and now is ahead. And still, these longbowmen, this I like a lot actually. They are guarding the hunts in the north.
Yeah, now we just check the weak play equal. Now Blue is ahead in the Equine as well as in the military. Pretty nice comeback actually, with those small raids all over the map.
That's true, and maybe also a bit of a build order hiccup coming in from minimoult. Usually you want to send the musketeer attack upgrade first, because musketeers are almost always going to be shooting but not always tanking. So an even bigger disadvantage is the military here for him, and he's getting pushed back. He needs to run.
Yeah, I think Blue actually got this fight.
Actually, he is still some musketeers running in the back of the base. Can you get that villager? It may be worth to suicide the must, or maybe also worth to keep the raiding potential alive. But yeah, minimoult managed to keep the middle of the map for now, but he is still behind in the military count.
Yeah, just look at the units lost. Like minimoult lost like 13 villagers because of those raids sitting on the base all over the place. So
yeah, and 47 musketeers lost as opposed to 28, and musketeers for Archer and 12 longbowmen, so also in the military department, Minimoult lost more units. But now both players have both their military upgrades in, and a big raid coming in here. If these muskets can cut off the villagers, he's gonna be even again in the economic count.
Yeah, but Blue's just moving his all his musketeers, and if Blue catches all these Minimoult's musketeers, I think yeah, Blue's going to be a huge advantage because his musketeers is just all over the map and not together.
Yeah. Again, some muskets being idle for Minimoult. This has cost him earlier again. But it looks like he can get out with only minimal damage taken. And it maybe even have been worth to put this little group of muskets on top of the resources, and while just holding the fight in the north of the map, not really committing to anything.
Yeah, Minimoult just added a second Rax chest now. He should have done this way earlier, but yeah, slowly catching up in the musketeers count. But the eco advantage is probably favoring Hadamada Samurai right now.
Yeah, oh, I didn't realize that he didn't he build that Rex earlier already, or maybe he has a third Rex somewhere. I can't find it.
Third Rex? I don't think there's a third Rex.
Okay. Yeah, still some kiting going on in the middle of the map, and the resources are really starting to run thin. Raids all over the place. Raids coming in here. A wall gonna get denied. Actually, the villager dies, and now the musketeers can run in.
Ooh,
And
because he's distracted by the villager over there. Now he's getting free musketeers picked off there.
Yeah, a big positioning error for Minimoult. Running in while he was distracted happens to me quite a lot as well. And this looks very good as a trade. 6 longbowmen coming out, and more reinforcing musketeers. Maybe now it's go time under the tower.
Maybe this is not the fight I think Blue should take.
No, this doesn't look very good for him. And also he's getting raided in the bottom of the map. So this is very back and forth, but he still has the economic lead in 10 villagers.
Yeah, but now he shipped the 6 longbows. I think Orange is still back in the game.
Yeah,
pretty interesting back and forth fights actually.
Yep, and a big raid going down in the map, in the south of the map. These can even up the eco population if they get some vill kills.
Yeah.
And more reinforcements coming in from Minimoult. Hopefully he does not misposition them, and looks like he's on top of everything. Also dealing more damage to the economy and slowly evening up the economic count, although he's still 5 villagers behind, but that's 5 less than a couple minutes ago. But he's getting pushed back in the main fight. Looks like these musketeers just passing by each other. And Minimoult's musketeers can still do some damage. Do they have villager HP? Yes, they have. Both players actually have very good upgrades on the villagers. Archer does not have placer mines.
Yeah, I think now the problem starts for Hadamada Samurai because now he needs to go out of the map to gather resources. But Minimoult is already doing that, so Minimoult's gonna have reinforcement, pretty good batches of musketeers, but Hadamada is struggling on getting the foot up.
That's true, and also Archer sent 4 villagers, and he's actually even in economic population, so he has lost a ton of villagers, I believe. Yeah, 18 and 16 lost for both players.
Oh, 700 coin coming in now. It's gonna get smooth batches of musketeers, so it's gonna help him get musketeers. Oh, this might be the fight actually. Blue has a lot of musketeers.
Yeah, coming in from every angle, and many musk from Minimoult not in the main fight. They are over here somewhere. And also depends a bit on micro, but if you have the bigger musk mass, you just take so many good trades. But
yeah, that was a good fight for Blue actually, but now I think Orange has remastered his units.
Yeah, he's walking a bit far here. I'm not sure if I like this. And the military pop is still dead even. And still some raids going on for Minimoult, so Archer has completely abandoned the raid game, and now Minimoult is putting the pressure on the economy. And he's actually pulling through here.
Yeah, he's actually losing the main fight, but Blue's losing his eco there.
Yeah, but at this point it kinda doesn't matter if you are 10 villas behind if the opponent's villagers can't gather. There are not many more hunts on the map actually. This one is the last for minimoult, and this one down here, which is getting denied currently for Harcher. And
Yeah,
soon
and
players
also
will
he's
have to
getting,
transition to mills.
yeah,
And yeah, this favors Minimoult because we saw he was able to gather the hunts in the middle of the map, and so still has a very healthy big hunt in the north, while Harcher doesn't. And he's already building the first mill, and will have to chop for more. Longbowmen coming out, these are of course more efficient units to make right now, because they cost less food, and you can also use wood for them.
yeah. I mean, this hunt is probably the game changer because
Mm-hmm.
now Hadamura doesn't have a lot of food. Now he needs to transition into mills, but yeah, this huge hunt, which is very good for Minimall because he just ate away the hunts at the mid map. So
Yep, and it
and
comes
now the
back to the
eco,
early 6 Musketeers and the 500 food age up and no contestant in the middle.
yeah, that's true. And the score is still dead even, but Minimall is scoring like 1k coin.
Yeah, not sure what he plans to do with that. Does he have a church card in deck? No, he doesn't.
No.
Advanced Arsenal maybe coming into play later. And Harcher doesn't have that. He has only Cav HP.
Yeah, Archer's doing nice job of getting units. I think his macro is slightly better than Minimolt here.
Yeah, he has consistently he has lower resources in the bank, and that sends into a military pop advantage. And he can take this hunt now, although it has decayed quite far until now. And we see here double stable coming out and some hussars in the queue and also being trained so far. Not sure what he's wants to accomplish with these, because you can't really raid anymore with when all the opponent's villagers are in the base gathering from mills.
Yeah, I think he's making Hus to get the longbows. Yeah, he can pick off these all of the longbows with his Hus, but he needs to bring all his army together.
Yep,
His army is just standing near to his base. So
5 hussars gonna be popping soon. You should move these longbows into position before the wall gets built. As musketeers are in the north of the map, a bit out of position. This should be go time for him. He can get a big trade here.
yeah, yeah, he has a lot of Hus, and he can just kill the longbows and then squeeze in the units and kill all his units. So.
Yeah, but he's too passive here and lets the villager build the wall. He has to be seeing this, right? And he also does he see the longbowman? Probably not. But yeah, now the window is closed and the hussars need to go to some other place to do something.
Yeah. But I think yeah, Hus cannot do raiding much because Hadamura has switched on to mills.
Yeah,
So it's probably about fighting units now rather than raiding.
exactly. And Harter has 2 mills already set up, while I believe Minimal just getting the first one. So of course, if you manage to survive the mill transition, then you have the advantage later on, because your opponent then has to transition and has fewer units. And a big fight in the middle, a ton of hussars. They are not upgraded.
Oh, that's the parting because of the trees. The hussars were just not fighting there.
Yeah, a bit of pathing screwed for Minimoult, and also the musketeers are in good melee, doing good melee damage to them, and it looks like they're not going to be for long.
And also the longbows coming from the raid, so
Yeah,
it's
they
gonna
were
be
barely
fun.
touched at all, and the longbow patch from the west is now coming in, and this is looking more and more like a cleanup, and Minimoult wisely pulling out here.
Yeah,
And he has
but
invested
I
so much into these hussars, and they didn't really get much anything done.
yeah they didn't do much. They're just walking around the trees, just causing problems. But I want to see both of these players to get the trading posts. None of them have got any. You can get the trading post and get the stagecoach at this point of time.
That's true, but you also upgrade it for your opponent, of course. So maybe it's worth for Minimoult to get a 4 villager advantage, expanding on his economic lead that he has.
Oh, is doing some raiding, but he has tower to protect it, so
Yeah.
good one.
How did these Huss actually get in there? Is there a hole in the wall?
Yeah, I think so. But
It looks like maybe at this point there's a hole in the wall. Musketeers pushing into the main base. Archer's military a bit out of position, and he gets a villager pick, but not the biggest deal at this point in time.
yeah, I think Hadamard's got the superior military advantage, and now I think he can just clean up the tower and the racks and then push in.
Yep. Although more units coming out, it's now only a 10 unit deficit, but they are again spread around the map, and Hussars just doing nothing really.
Well, he's I think the villages at the tower, but yeah.
Yeah, but these villagers don't really matter. What matters is the production facilities, and also these villagers are at risk now.
Yeah, that's true. I hope Hadamard sees that the villagers at the mine.
Yeah.
He's pulling over their villagers pretty nice.
Yeah, and Harcher is going back and he's making more walls to secure his resources. And is he gonna siege down the town? No, looks like he's just pulling back.
Oh, where is he moving his villages? Okay, he's just pulling towards his units. Okay. But yeah, look at this. That's a huge raid.
Yeah, and that's gonna put minimoult even further ahead. And yeah, sometimes even if you just have the bigger economy, you just win in the long run. Now at 20 villager lead, and this is really big. And more villagers going down here.
Yeah, I think he just misclicked and his units are walking and not shooting. Now he lost like ton of villagers. He lost like 40 villagers.
40 villagers lost, exactly. And yeah, this is looking very tough now, because you can't just come back from a deficit like this.
Yeah, I mean, Hadamard Samurai was doing good on the units. He's just popping out units. But now I think if the game goes late, then Minimoult can get more units out.
Yeah, he always had for big chunks of the game, he had a military advantage, but never really managed to convert it into anything. And over the time, the map control and the raids just playing out good for Minimoult.
Yeah, the problem now is the coin mines, because if we transition into plantation, that's going to be very costly. So
yeah, they can't
we need
actually
to control the.
Then Colonial, right? Or are plantations available in Colonial? In the new EP?
Plantations, I think they are available in
Okay.
H2 itself. No. Yeah.
But yes, still a big or a military advantage for Harcher, and he's pushing now into the resource location where there are 2 mills here to be pressured. And where's Minimoult's army? He's also in the base picking off villagers. And now fanning out.
This might be actually a nice counter raid from Adamado, but yeah, he just needs to go in with all his units.
Yeah, fight with this longbow. Okay, the musket's gonna get picked off, and these are idle here. If they were on top of the mills, they could be doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, I think he didn't react. Now he just get distracted by the longbows and he's skipping the mills there.
Yeah, Archer may be getting a bit out multitask here, and we can see in the score he already has a 35 score deficit, and it's just gonna grow bigger and bigger. And the last raiding musket's getting cleaned out, and looks like he's gonna get caught now. Does he have any hussars to snare? He has 5 hussars somewhere. They are coming back to snare this army, and he has also the production facilities nearby, so he's the reinforcement advantage and a military advantage, and most of the muskets are down. If he micros this well, he can clean this army up. Yeah,
this might be the last fight for Bloom, honestly, but if he loses these units, I think it's going to be very hard, and yeah, it's just GG.
Yeah, what was keeping Archer in this game was his military, but now it's just getting cleaned up, and he probably realizes that he has an economic deficit since he's working at a score disadvantage here.
Yeah. He has a lot of wood, but yeah, you need food and wood to get the longbows. But with the farms, I think you might be able to get a lot of wood, and also the builds deficit. Yeah.
Yeah, but makes sense for him to not resign. As long as he still has an economy and an army to work with, why resign? Miracles can happen, and he of course isn't exactly aware how dire the situation is looking for him. So it's a good decision not to resign. But now minimoult is coming in with a big army, and it's most likely just going to be a cleanup. And some posturing going on.
Minimoult just needs to clear one fight. He just needs to win a fight pretty convincingly, and then the game is over.
Yep, and advanced arsenal coming in for minimoult. He did send Virginia Company at some point, at 20 minutes into the game. But advanced arsenal will allow him to upgrade his units even more. The musketeers get, I think, 10% HP, attack, and also movement speed.
Yeah, also you get the military dumbbells, which speeds up the infantry.
Yeah, which is very nice in these late colonial situations.
Yeah.
Getting some picks on the villagers, killing just one. But he will eventually force the army of Harcher to fight. More longbowmen coming in.
Look at the reinforcement. Triple Rax production, getting 15 longbows now.
Yeah, and Harcher has been mixing in some hussars as well. And there are not too many musketeers. If they can be picked off, the hussars can do some real damage to the longbowmen. Some kiting back and forth going on. The explorer nicely tanking for minimoult. And now he's just gonna get squeezed against the back of the map. But more musketeers coming in. Where are actually all of minimoult's units? He has 72 mil pop, but this fight looks quite even. And it looks like he can even clean this up, but oh no, he can't. The longbowmen are too strong. They have such high DPS. More hussars coming in, and some reinforcements being idle. That's not good for minimoult. More hussars coming in.
Yeah, minimoult will just be able to hold this. And now with the fire hussars reinforcements, it's GG.
Yeah, and Harcher realizes that he can't hold off the pressure anymore, and it's GG. A very close game, both players in the driver's seat at some point, and very much back and forth. Let's have a look at the graphs. Are we so scared? Yeah, as expected, quite even, and minimoult just pulling ahead later.
Yeah, nice back and forth action game actually.
Yeah, have a look at the mill graph. It's just trade after trade after trade, and it's very even. And just Harcher gets a really good fight at 22 minutes, but after that his remus isn't that strong, and at 26 minutes he gets cleaned up, which was in minimoult space, and after that it's just over. And yeah, he just got raided way more. Harcher was doing a good job raiding early on, but he just kinda gave up and let minimoult take that raiding game on him, and he lost so many villagers. Alright, let's head out into the next game.
Yeah. I think it's getting late for them, so let's just hop on.
Let's have a look if they are hosting. Yep, there they are. And the next map is Tuparro. This map has a ton of resources, I recall from playing it once. It's like 70,000 Huns almost. And looks like Harcher is the first player to pick, and he picks Japan. And I'm not even sure if that... Yeah, he probably can just put shrines down everywhere, and even if half the Huns are gone, he still has the possibility of 20 fully saturated shrines on the map.
Do you know how the Civ pick works? It's the winner picks first or the alternate ones?
No, it's set actually. In the first game they do a Civ dance, and after that, in this week, the Nilla Ninjas will lock first. So this is Hatamoto Samurai who pick first, and then it's alternating. Third game, minimoult will pick, and then Harcher again, and then minimoult.
Oh, okay, this is a bit different.
A little bit about the sound. Can you maybe turn the mic a bit away from your mouth? I can hear you breathe a bit.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, great. Yeah, I think Brambo said earlier, at this point, if I was a cast, I would butcher Harcher's name as much as possible. I hope I'm pronouncing it well. If not, someone in the chat can give me a heads up. Okay, looks like the volume is good, and minimoult has to decide which civ to play. He can't play British again. These are not NVC rules. It is you can't have to play 3 different civs, and after game 3 there is a reset. Looks like France coming out. So this I like a lot because I always like to watch France. It's my basically the only civ I play, and also France versus Japan is a very interesting matchup. Quite difficult for both sides to play because there are a lot of tactics and unit positioning going on, basically from the start of Colonial.
Yeah, France can be a nice counter to Japan. They do have the slight window to take the victory because of their strong fortress to get the first. Yeah, France is pretty nice pick on this map, and also I think the TCs are not just far from each other, so that's
Excuse, can you repeat that? I didn't catch the last sentence. Sorry.
I'm saying that the TCs are not far away from each other, so it might be pretty easy to get the units from the shipments, and you can just
That's true. This map is very
yeah.
big, but the players still spawn close to each other. And both players have 2 mines in base, and there are just a ton of mines on the perimeters of the map, and also a ton of hunts. Actually, is Harcha missing a hunt? Or is that just normal? Both players have... Because minimoult has 4 in his nearby, and Harcha only 3, I think. What do you think?
It's not gonna matter much for Japan because they get shrines, but
True. Yeah, I think this is good to go, and also there's still a ton of map hunt on this map.
yeah.
Let's put Control Shift off, Control Shift F on, and looks like Harcha has found 100 food treasure, which of course can speed up his age up significantly, and minimoult going for the 200 wood trading post, so it was a wood start.
Oh, that's pretty nice for France. Versus Japan actually.
Yeah, and if at all possible, France I think wants to go for a stagecoach in this age up, but this TP is gonna be difficult to control for him.
Yeah,
And
that's true. That is pretty much closer to Hermes TC. So yeah, I think you can just take one trading post and be happy with the XP you get from it.
yeah, and maybe even builds this trading post later to get even more XP income. I'm not sure how much the trading posts are worth on this map, but I would assume they are also like around 1.2 XP. And
Yeah,
70 wood coming in for minimoult. Unfortunately, he has already built his house, so this is not gonna speed up his age up.
yeah, but you can get the market up so pretty fast because of the 70 wood.
Yeah,
Using
it's
French
still
system.
nice for him. And 50 XP being picked up by Harcher in the south, and more scouting going on in the middle of the map. And he finds 100 coin, and if he cracks the pirate, he can just melee down the blowgunner.
Yeah, I think he needs to wait for the crack shot. He just did the crack shot, just the treasure he picked right now.
And
Yeah, but
Fighting Frenchman has gifted some subs, if I count correctly, 7 subs. No, 6 subs. Thank you, Fighting Frenchman.
yeah, thank you for the donation.
And it looks like Harcha has sent Heavenly Kami first. This is not as standard as it once was, but maybe on this map you can do it because there's just so much shrine potential for you.
Yeah, there are pretty much a lot of hunts all over the map, I think. Yeah, Kami is a good card here.
Yep. And looks like minimoult is gonna be right on time with his age up, and Harka already aging up, so that 100 food treasure coming in big for him, because usually Japan struggles a bit to age up before 3 minutes, but here he has been able to do it very well, and 100 coin going into minimoult's pockets is gonna speed up the gathering in transition, so he can maybe even go for Expo Pike very aggressively.
Yeah, we gotta see what Minimal chooses to do here. Maybe if he wants to go for Musk or he wants to go for Expo Pike. But yeah, we'll see that soon, depending on what resource, how much he's get.
and shrines going down everywhere on the map. He is actually, yeah, he's just starting his shrine boom. That's why he's at only 30 pop right now. And minimoult taking the second TP, and this looks very much like a stagecoach play to me. But already, I think Harka saw this explorer run by, so he probably knows that there's stagecoach, and he also can see it in the icons on the top of the map.
Yeah. If minimal chooses to do like a expo pike racks over here, he can just protect the TP and go for the stagecoach. But yeah, let's see what he does.
Yep. Both players about to hit up to the colonial aids, and looking at the text, market text of the French player, we can actually see very often what he wants to do. And it looks like he doesn't have placer mines and is only just now researching hunting dogs and still chopping a lot of wood. And this indicates crossbow pike for me, but no gang saw, which I think is it's just so efficient to get. It's only 100 food.
Yep, there are the forward villagers for minimoult, so he's gonna be probably aggressive versus Japan.
Yep, and laying down that drag straight away. So no cav semi shenanigans going on, trying to just snipe the monks with the cavalry, and some scouting going on from Harka. Very nice. He will identify that there will be some aggression coming out from the French player.
Yep.
And also minimoults, he should be able to see the Rex going down in Harka's base soon. And let's have a look at the units in queue. It is pikemen to siege on the shrines.
Yep, pikemen's being made and Yumi's being made, so pretty good good starting units. Of course, the Japanese go with the Yumis and pikes for getting the shrines down.
Yeah. And it always feels so scary when Japanese players are making Yumis, because they just trade so well against everything. They do so much damage, they fire so fast, they have a very good setup animation. It's just a very scary unit to play against. But only gets 3 out on the first batch.
Yeah, that's pretty too early to get perfect macro and get 5 Yumis, but yeah, he'll get a nice batch of units later once he gets the shrine room up.
Yep. And 5 pikes only coming out, and then straight away going into the crossbowmen production, which are there to zone off enemy units, and the pikes getting straight away to sieging. And no stagecoach in yet for the French player, so maybe he's not committing to it.
Yeah, he just get a single Rex and now he's dropping a second Rex, so probably you'll see some more units and probably maybe 600 wood next card.
Mm-hmm. And oh, I didn't actually notice he shipped 4 CDB first, which is a bit unusual, I would say, if you go for musketeer, for pikemen and crossbowmen right away, because of course the 700 wood shipment first allows you to just use that wood for the military units. And yeah, as you said, 600 wood now coming out, and probably some more pikemen's gonna come in. No, actually more crossbowmen. Only 5 pikemen on the field so far, and it looks to me that minimoult will be trying to age up soon.
Well, he's chopping wood with the CDBs. I think he might train some more units and then he might age later when Thunder Coin comes.
Yeah. Also, he maybe wants to ship 3 Hussars, and I don't know if he has identified that Harka is making Yumi, but if he can get some Hussars out and snare them and take a good trade, then he also can take the colonial game from there. But it's difficult to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has a ton of crossbowmen, but they are not really doing much. They haven't been fighting the Japanese units. And where is pikemen actually? Can't find them.
Pikemen's, yeah, they're over here.
Ah, they're over here. So they are swinging over to the other part of the map. Probably scared to siege down here because the Yumis are nearby. Bestiarius coming out from the Portuguese consulate, and this is a very nice archer mash that Harcha has. And minimoult can't really can go in here, and he has shipped 8 bows, so he's committing to colonial for now.
Yeah, I mean Japan has got a lot of Yumis and Bestiarius at this point, and French is late to the rush, I think.
Yeah, Explorer coming in to tank some shots, but the Yumis sniping him down straight away. And this is just a tough position for France, because he can't really go in. He knows that the Japanese player is slowly getting ahead in the economy, and he can't really do much about it. Pikes continuing to siege, but this is not really a great fight for minimoult to take.
Yeah, that's true. But meantime, look at the Shrine Pop. He has got one for the Shrine Pop in the meantime. So the, the aggression from Minimoto has not done much actually. He just made had a meta give time to mass Yumi's, and now he's adding a stable. So I think Japan is in a fine spot actually.
Yeah, and this just comes down to build orders, and I would say minimoult has done yeah, an okay job, I would say, because Harker isn't 200 shrine pop, but 130 still healthy. And if you look at the recalculated economic pop, he's ahead by 8 villagers. And okay, the stage code is in, so it's quite even. Actually, with stage code, France has some chance to fight this in H2, I feel. And
Yeah,
he has
but
been
look
getting
at
good trades. The Yumi count is dwindling.
yeah, but that's true. But now he's queuing up Naginatas. Now 6 Naginatas are just gonna pop out and clean all these expos.
Yep, and 10 more expos reinforcing, but that's not the unit he needs. And Haika has identified exactly the unit he needs here, and that's Naginata Riders, and they just will clean up everything. And the Yumis are DPSing behind this, and there's no anti-cav whatsoever, and this is just a big risk you're taking if you go pure expo.
This is just a really great fight by the Samurai here, killing
Yeah.
all those expos.
Yeah, the military pop took such a huge swing. minimoult was ahead by like 10 to 15 to 20 units, and now he's almost getting cleaned up entirely. All these expos are gonna die. Still 2 full health Naginatas, more expo coming out, and they will also get cleaned up.
Yeah, I mean the Naginata is still alive, and oh, they're doing a lot of job here. No pikes though.
Yep, still no pikes in the queue. Like, what is he doing? You need anti-cav at this point. You see that the Naginata riders are here, and yeah, he cancels the expos and is making pikes now. But of course, only pikes are not gonna win against this composition. He has no military units on the field whatsoever now, and it's just a huge unit composition blunder from minimoult.
Yeah, now he's just making some pikes, but I think Minimum was trying to age behind this, but I think it was not smart to push, but he was trying to age.
That's true, especially with such a one-sided composition. But looks like he will be able to get up because Harker is not overcommitting. I would like to see him siege down these Rexes because that's something the French player then has to replace, and it's not the best thing to do for him. And the pikes he made and now are going to the top of the map, but are getting picked off by some expo men. And I think with good micro, Harker can just pick up all of these.
Oh, that's nice micro there. 2 pikes nearly.
Yeah. Getting baited a bit by the low HP pikeman. Good control from minimoult as well. Japanese explorer nearby not participating much, and the shrine count has dwindled a little bit. It's down to 120. I think Harka has the potential to be at 200 shrine pop. She just hasn't been building the shrines, but now sieging the map. minimoult is up to the Fortress H, but he will not be able to save his 2 barracks.
Yeah, Adam is choosing to stay in H2 and.
Oh, Naginata's getting caught. That's a good
Oh.
pickup for minimoult. And they were looking around to fight some villagers, but looks like getting cleaned up, and some nice control coming out, trying to pull the Naginatas away. But minimoult quickly attacking all of them, snaring all of them, and manages to clean them up.
Yeah, I mean those Nuggies were distracted and the house were fighting, but now he loses 2 racks, so he doesn't have any racks, so he can only make cavalry type units, either Goons or Cuirassiers. So
that's true, and Cuirassiers are the unit of his choice. A new barracks coming up in the east. And yeah, Cuirassiers is the unit he wants to make here because there's such a big Yumi mess, and you only really can't counter them with Cuirassiers.
yeah, actually Japan might just sit on the TC and catch out any ship which pops out, or he can go for the military buildings and kill it.
I think he's wise to pull onto the military buildings. He can take some stage kills TPs here, deny some resource gathering, and Yes, the Cav military is quite strong for minimoult, but it's not enough. Harcher still has some ashes that can deflect the cavalry.
Yep.
And now pulling back, he is not gearing up to age up himself, which I think is a bit of a mistake. You usually want to fight, don't want to fight France at a tech disadvantage.
Yeah, but he chooses the H2 and get a lot of units. At this point, Adam Samurai has the military advantage. He just needs to just sit at his base and deny all the shipments coming and also the resources.
That's true, and the Crusaders are unupgraded yet. Cav Combat is a big upgrade for them, but not in just yet. And the pikes in the north finally getting clean out, and the shrine pop for Harker is at 130, and still I think there are hunts that he can shrine, or can he? Yes, in the bottom of the map there's still some possibility for shrines. And he's not sieging down the stagecoach. I bet he has identified that there's stagecoach, and this would just be a very good way to even more enhance his economic lead, and that might even allow him to age very safely at some point.
Yep. Oh, Adam is going to catch off these CDBs which are getting food over here.
Yeah.
Oh.
Some very nice map awareness from Harker. He saw the dead animals and is now pushing onto these hunts. And that's of course a problem that every player has but the Japanese. They can get raided and spotted on the map. And looks like these villagers are gonna go down because the Nagis are cutting off their path. More ashes coming in to deflect the cavalry. And yeah, Minutemen coming out, but this is probably just gonna be a cleanup for Harker if he gets his Yumi into position.
Oh yeah, his units are out of position here.
Yeah, the Yumi are not participating in the main fight. They are busy microing down some dragoons, but still the ashes in melee are more than enough to kill the cuirassiers. They are unupgraded, of course, and everything is going down. 5 dragoons is not enough here. 2 Vikes couldn't have done something, and minimoult is just gonna get cleaned up completely.
Yeah, this was a messy fight here. Units are here, and then yeah, Japan just takes this fight pretty easily because of superior mass of units. Yeah, GG.
Yep, and GG. And a good call from Harker, just staying H2, massing units and winning a big fight. And just because I saw it in the chat, the stagecoach TP is worth 4 villagers on wood, 3 on coin and 2 on food, roughly I believe.
Oh,
But
yeah.
still the economy was in favor of Harker, and we can see him pulling ahead at the end of the game.
Yeah.
But the big story of this fight is maybe not of minimoult. He tried to play H2 a bit too long, and then when he was about to H, he was with only Expo Man in his opponent's base, and of course got cleaned up very hard. And after that, he's just behind all the game. You can't lose a fight against Japan and then expect to make it up later, and you're just too behind after that.
Yeah, I think that was a slight mistake in the build order, going with 4 CDBs, and then he just delayed his rush a little bit, and yeah.
Yeah, against Japan you need to be very quick and tempo biased, and also his stagecoach was a bit delayed, I feel, and 4 CDB first, of course, maybe causing that. So he was just maybe in general a little bit too slow, and then that big unit composition error cost him big. And we're heading into the next game. Game telling me the game is full. The next map is Fraser River, a map I haven't seen before.
Yeah, same. That's a new map probably added to the EP 8.1. So now the score is tied 1-1 between these players.
Yep, scores 1-1, and now minimoult has to pick first. This map is quite interesting. It doesn't have a lot of resources on the plateau where you start as, so you have to go down into the valley and control resources there. Do you know which natives are on this map?
I'm not sure.
It looks like it's Cree or Nootka or Cheyenne. And I think the Cheyenne, if you get the... You can even go Nats on this map and get the upgrade against villagers so that again just are like Oprishnik, which could be fun.
Yeah. I think this map has the choke points in the map, the small pawns, which are they can just wall up, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
True,
let's see.
that does speak against this playstyle. And let's see what Minimoult picks here. I'm not really aware of the civs that Minimoult plays. Looks like he's going for Ottoman. And if you can control the stagecoach line, this could be a good map for that.
Yeah, this is a good map for the 4 TPs. So yeah, we need to see what Hadamada picks here.
Yeah, I never know what are actually the counters to Otto, because I feel whatever someone does against him, they just do so well. Looks like Minimoult is switching it up. Maybe Su could have come out from Harka, but Minimoult decides for Germany. Does he have 2 coin mines in base here?
I'm not sure.
Because if he doesn't, then coin mines will get exposed very quickly for him, and that's maybe something Harka can take advantage of with a Russia pick, or Iroquois also does quite well against Germany, I think. Even though we saw Lucas said win this matchup yesterday versus Soldier, but that was because of just no anti-cav from Soldier. And also a bit of a positioning error where he got all his musket riders caught.
Oh. I think I go even Portuguese on this map.
Ports.
Oh, Germany.
German mirror. This is a very interesting matchup. Even though it's a mirror, it can go very quickly either way, because the damage potential of all these units is so big. And usually when I try to hit a colonial timing, but it is also very risky. As we saw yesterday, Lucas hit a good timing, but he wasn't really able to do much damage. The Minuteman cleaned up all his stoppos, and then he was just behind after that. But it's still it's a very interesting matchup to see. A lot of things going on the map all the time because of the Uland raids, stop-up aggression, and all that stuff.
They're still thinking about moving up.
Yeah, I would assume they are discussing build orders with their buddies over on the EPL Discord, because these can be quite important in such narrow mirror matchups here. And I'm going to be interested to see what strats come out of them.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the tops or the lawns for sure.
Yeah, and I actually don't know how big this map is, so of course the bigger it is, the more difficult it is to make some plays happen with the Doppelsoldners.
So yeah, here we go. Game number 3 between these two players. The score is tied 1-1. And this is the third game we are seeing Hadamada Samurai versus Minimoult playing German Mirror on Fraser River. Wow.
Exactly. Loading into the game. Let's update the score once it's possible. And wow, there are a ton of coin mines on this map, just not on the plateau. And yeah, I think it's even. Coin mine wise, and hunts also look good to me.
Yes.
And I didn't catch the crate start. I think it was a food start. No, it's a 200 wood start. And 40 wood in the base of Harka. And this is just very great because he can pick up. He just has to gather less wood now, and that's gonna speed up his age up, which is quite difficult to macro for for Germany. And Minimoult crackshotting the first bear for the Honcho treasure. Which is gonna allow him to basically pick up any treasure, no problem whatsoever later in the game.
Didn't the Hancho treasure get nerfed recently?
I think it got nerfed a bit, but it still does very well against treasures, I think. I actually don't know exactly what got changed, but we will see it soon, I assume.
I think they changed the multiplayer.
Yeah, it was doing like 80 damage or something ridiculous against Treasure Guardians.
Yeah, they just 2-tap the Treasure Guardians. That's pretty ridiculous.
Yep. Let's have a look at units in queue. TP going down for Harka as well, and it looks like I don't think minimoult got a first pass, but he will get later, but it's not going to be impactful for the shipment. And also going to be picking up 50 food, which speeds up his age up as well. And now crouching the last grizzly bear, while Harka is exploring the mid of the map. He finds 2 stray sheep, probably not something he wants to have. And yeah, you're right, the multiplayer against Treasure Guardians got decreased, but he still does well against them.
Yeah, they do like around 30 damage. Yeah.
Yep, and so far not that much going on. Players just scouting around, little treasures getting picked up. And if minimoult can take advantage of his Honcho pet, then he will be able to win this H1, but he has to find the treasures. Let's see in the Fog of War if there are any big treasures. 90 wood over here.
And also 90 food.
And 90 food, so these are the big prizes to get. And looks like Harka is closer to them. But he's exploring the backside now.
Yeah. This map, I think your second mine is a bit far from your PC. But other than that, I think it's a normal map.
Yeah, that's frustrating if you're a German player, but I think it's going to be very entertaining for us and the viewers, because that means resources are going to be a big part of this game straight away, and controlling them will be even more important. And minimoult finding the 90 wood treasure, and will be able to pick it up. He has the Honcho nearby, and yeah, he's just destroying the Guardians.
And in the meantime, he's picking the 90 foot over here.
And looks like minimoult has seen it through the TP line of sight, and is going straight for it. And I think he can get there in time, especially because one wolf is still full HP. Oh, nice! He pulled his explorer with the bear, and this is a tough spot for Harka here. Let's see who gets the treasure.
Oh, he gets it.
I think minimoult got it. No, Harka gets it, but he's gonna lose his explorer most likely. If minimoult does a good job at tracking him down, casering him down, just shooting and immediately continuing to walk, he can get him down. And this bear is actually a little bit faster than explorer, so Harka's explorer definitely going down. It's just 45 XP plus scouting information denied plus a second TP that's not possible anymore now.
Here it goes.
But as a consolation prize, he did get the 90 food treasure. And second trading post coming down for minimoult, which makes doubles more attractive now for Harka. But at the same time, it's also good for minimoult, because this is a great way to get an advantage in the mirror matchup by constructing an extra TP and getting ahead in the shipment curve.
Yeah. I think minimoult should have gone for this TP actually, because this TP is closer to Hadamato's base, so you can just train Dobbs and siege it quickly.
That's right, it's quite exposed over there.
Yeah, and also you can also do the same thing for this TP over here.
That's true, both of these TPs in the mid are quite exposed, and looks like both players now getting their market upgrades in. Hunting dogs finishing for minimoult, and placer mines coming in for Harka. And he's actually picking up 2 stray sheep, probably just because he can and for the XP. These sheep are not the greatest price, but still it's like a 50 food treasure, actually no, 75 food, because they gather twice as fast than normal hunts.
Yo, Rax coming in for Hadamata Samurai.
Yep, age up time pretty much dead even, and Rex coming out for Harka and also for minimoult, so no discrepancy here. And judging by the unit population, I think both players are going for the settler wagon shipment.
Yeah, looks like both players want to get the trading post down, and yeah, both of them are gonna make Dobbs, and you're gonna see double dance.
Yeah, let's have a look at the units in queue. Doubles in queue for Harka and also for minimoult now. And yeah, this is gonna be a double aggression war, trying to get down the TPs and surprising and snaring your opponent. The explorer is also gonna be a big part of that. And even this grizzly can do some damage in the fight. It gets shadow tag, so it has 32 attack now. It's basically, it can 1v1 a Hulan, no problem.
Yep. Yeah, looking at the shipments sent, minimoult sent 700 wood, and Hadamata sent 3 settler wagons.
That's
So
interesting. Maybe Minimoult is a fan of the H2O build order where you ship 700 wood, nope, 700 coin and then 3 settle wings, but throws me for a loop here and just wants to get his infrastructure up a little bit earlier. Also probably he sent that because he built that second TP and he didn't have that much for steel traps and houses anymore.
yep.
Now Doppel's coming in. Are these Ulans gonna get snared? No, looks like they can just slither away. And Doppels on the map for both players. Only 3 Doppels coming out of the first batch, and that's of course part of the reality if you don't, if you ship 3 settler wings first, because you just need to gather more resources. But the military pop dead even, and looks like both TP's gonna go down. And Harka is mixing in a second TP from a 700 wood shipment.
Oh, he's taking the fight there actually.
Yep, he's
Oh,
snaring
that
the
is.
Yulan. And Explorer, is he gonna go in for the snare? He's too slow for the Doppel Soldness. And they're just gonna be happy to clean up the Explorer and the Pet Grizzly.
Wow, the handshell is doing actually a lot of damage.
He had killed half a Yulan. That's quite good.
Wow.
Is he gonna pull the Explorer? Or is it a bait? I think
Yeah.
it's a bait actually. Yeah, 3 more Doppels
Yeah, it's a
coming in.
bait.
But 4 more Doppels coming in from Harka. And also 4 more coming in from Minimoult. So it just comes down to the matter. Oh, a slight misstep.
Oh,
And
no.
these Doppels gonna focus down before the others arrive. Just a very close fight. The Ulan are in the fight, hitting the Doppels in the back. Very nice control. Now they need to get pulled back. But I think still the early picks of Harka are just gonna snowball in this fight. But having said that though, the orange units, I couldn't see them quite right. Turns into a victory of Minimoult. And now some crossbowmen have been trained by Harka and 3 Doppels being shipped. This is a short-term play, while Minimoult has gotten 700 coin. So his unit production is gonna be a lot stronger.
Yeah. I think Minimal's trying to age here is not to have any units in queue.
Yeah, good
But
call.
yeah, Hadamar has just sent the 3 dops and now he's gonna push.
Yeah, but Minimoult needs to be careful here. He's gonna get caught. If the Explorer can snare him in melee,
Oh, drag box.
there are a ton of Doppelsoldners here. And the crossbowmen not getting pulled just yet. And this is a very tense situation for both players. He's gonna snare with 1 Ulan. As long as possible, probably immediately gonna get pulled back as soon as Minimoult tries to target him.
Oh,
Doppel's
there's
trying
5
to catch
dops.
up. And yeah, more Dops from Minimoult. And I wonder, this was probably actually again a bait. And now Harka has to pull back. And his crossbowmen are being drag boxed with some more Ulans over there. But they're not participating in the fight so far. Harka is snared, but both players going in, not really sure if they want to commit. This is a very tense standoff. And this Ulan nicely spotting the reinforcing Doppel, so now Minimoult knows he has to get out here. Or at least he knows that Harka is a lot stronger than he previously believed. But maybe he could even take this fight actually. He has a lot of units over here and he's also aging at the same time. I'm not sure how that happened. And Harka looks to be just straight behind. He has less units. Ah no, he has more units now, more Doppels coming out. But he has to make something happen now with these units. And 8 bows also coming out. So this is a timing for Harka, and he has to get out and over to Minimoult's base and do something.
Yeah, it's pretty nice for Minimo to not come into the fight because he was trying to age, and if you just have committed the fight, I think the reinforcement from Hadamero's Samurai would have cleaned up.
Yep.
Yeah, so he's waiting for the fortress, and probably he can ship the 5 tops. Oh, he has the 5 tops, so
Why would you ship 5 Dops here? I saw that also yesterday, and I'm not quite sure why. Do you have more
5
intel
tops.
on that?
Usually ship 5 tops to get the Doppels an advantage, but yeah, it's better when you ship during when the opponent push into your TC.
That's true. If you get a good double pop, it can be quite worth it. And the TP only now getting cleared out for Minimoult, so he has been working at an XP advantage, and we also can see that in the shipment curve. And he is now up to the Fortress Age. And I don't think Harka is aging behind this. He's just passively sitting on the map with his military advantage. He does not have the resources to age yet.
Yeah, he only has one military building, and there's no stable, so he's only gonna make tops now.
Oh wow, he used the 200 wood to build a new trading post, but a stable is also quite valuable if you want to age at some point, because those werewolves are of course very strong. And now 8 skirmishers coming in and 5 being trained, so a big skirmisher is coming in for minimoult, and he now can just press the advantage. Villager going down, looks like. More doubles coming in. And I'm not sure if...
Oh, he's getting the Vertin Ullans. I thought he was getting Vertin Dops. That might be huge actually, because of the tech advantage.
That's true, Vet Dops could do quite well here, but I think minimoult is just happy to just poke in and out here and use the skirmishers to snipe away at the Doppers. But a big fight coming now in here, and Doppers splashing down everything. It looks to me like Harker has the advantage here. Minimoult's Doppers just running out a little bit too much, and the Crossbowman also doing a good job at cleaning out Minimoult's Doppers. And if these Ulans can get on the skirmishers, this could be a big swing for Harker. And he's stacking 1.6k coin right now, and he's soon going to be able to age.
Yeah, and also Minimal was so floating a lot of foot.
Yeah, that feels almost like a little bit of a mistake by Minimoult. Going in too deep, he probably was expecting Harker to age as well, but surprising him with a big unit pop.
Yeah. I think he was busy on the micro rig and he just forgot to queue up units. But now, yeah, he'll be able to make units now.
And Harker is also starting to make his way into the third age. Minimoult stacking a lot of food, but fixing this macro now, of course, with a lot of villagers on coin. And yeah, the matchup is quite even now. Both players are going to be up to the fortress age. Both have 2 TPs, both have roughly the same amount of villagers, and now 9 Yulan coming in, and they are of course veteran, and this can be a big push if your opponent only just has hit up to fortress. He's not really able to deal with big calf masses like that early on. So this is a moment for Minimoult to make something happen.
Yeah, this is a perfect time for Minimoult to push him, because just now he realized he's aged, so he can just push him.
Yep, and he lost another villager. Let's take a look. 3 villagers down for Harker so far, and that explains why he's a little bit behind in the economic unit population, and he wants to go in right now. He knows that all the Doppers died, and he has a big calf advantage, and there has to be 3 Warwings in the queue for Hatamoto Samurai.
Ooh, this is gonna hurt. Hatamoto doesn't have the 5 Dops. This is the situation where Dops would be quite useful.
Yeah, Minutemen coming out.
Yeah.
And that looks like it's enough to scare Minimoult away. And there are Ulans in the queue actually, probably not the unit he wants right here, since they are not veteran.
Yeah, he needs to get the upgrade from Ulans.
Yeah, Minimoult pulling back. He's probably content to just siege a TP, and he may be even able to get the stagecoach line. Yep, you're right. Stagecoach is in, so he wants to further his advantage via this eco play. And if he can contain Harker for long enough, this can work out well for him. But Harker has shipped 13 Jaegers, and now he has the skirmisher advantage. He just has to be worried about his anti-cav units. And I just noticed the stagecoach only upgrades the southern part of the map, so that's why the players were so insistent on getting those TPs.
Yeah. Even Blue got the right TP, he can get the stagecoach on the outside, and yeah, Minimoult got the south side, so pretty even.
Yeah. 3 Warwings coming out for Minimoult, but he's not using his cavalry advantage, and now would be the time to do it, because there's basically no Warwings on the field. And only some unupgraded Ulans are the only anti-cav that Minimoult really has, and some Ulan retreating back here. I think he has identified that his opponent has basically no anti-cav.
Yeah, and also he spotted Jaegers, so he's gonna make some units, not war wagons, but I hope he ships Jaegers himself to compensate that.
Yeah, and looks like that's what's also happening. We can see he's up to 700 coin and almost a shipment in queue. And yeah, the best way to counter Jaegers is just with Jaegers of your own.
Yep.
Oh, some Ulans are gonna see the villager right away turning on, and this is a good pickup for Harker because he's denying the wall off.
Yeah, this is the choke point I said, I guess. Yeah, this wall just makes waiting pretty hard.
Yeah, and maybe Harker's gonna draw inspiration from that wall and drop a wall of his own. And now more Ulans coming in from this back door. but there's not really much for them to raid. All of Harka's eco is on the other side of the map.
Yeah, right now minimoult has a lot of military units, so
That's
did he
true.
ship a mercenary? God, I didn't see the gold.
Yeah, I unfortunately also didn't pay attention to the gold count. What we will see soon what kind of card he shipped, and Harka nicely positioning Yulan on this coin main, and the other one is going in to scout out the resource locations. But of course there are like 5 coin mines on your valley of the map, and it's gonna be quite a time before any of the players runs out of gold.
Yep.
And neither player, both players just content with sitting on their economy. No stagecoach just yet for Harka, so he is behind in the economic unit count, and that's translate, of course, and also because he was later to Fortress, he has less units overall, and a big Yulan mass here, and only 5 war wagons. These are probably not enough to deal with his cav mass. And Harka is going forward actually. And his scrum mass is not as strong as you believe, because there are also Minutemen in there, and these Yulans. Yeah, this has to be go time. Minimoult has a big opportunity here to just clean up Harka entirely. Although he does have a wall built he can retreat to, and that's probably why he was so aggressive here, knowing he had the wall to fall back on. And more walls going on, but the Yulan is gonna deny it. No, it gets pulled off just in the nick of time.
But yeah, the 2 Ulans are just coming. Oh, yep, there's gonna be. Oh, they just passed away.
Yep, neither player paying attention to this, but now the Yulans are seen, and they are gonna get caught and cleaned up. This is a good pickup for Harka, because that's what he needs to get back into this game, and especially deleting enemy cav is good for him.
This might be a nice flank actually, using the Ulans. Now he just built the wall, so he can't run away. He can just force the fight here.
That's true. I didn't realize that was Minimoult's wall, and now the Ulans are running in, and it looks like Minimoult wants to take a fight here, but now the war wagon count is looking a lot more healthy for Harka.
I think he can just go in because he has the cavalry combat. But yeah, I think he just wants to play it more safe. Maybe what is he waiting for, Jaegers? Oh, he got the arsenal here.
Yep, he is getting cavalry cuirass, so these Ulans are gonna be extremely tanky now. Or for being Ulans, they're gonna be quite tanky.
Yeah.
And both players making a wall here. They want to control these chokes. And still no stagecoach for Harka, and I'm quite surprised that this hasn't translated into a bigger military unit lead for Minimoult. Because he's, oh look at this, he's stacking quite a lot of resources. He probably needs a second or third production facility to spend all his resources. And maybe it's now time for him to ship 1,000 wood to get those things going.
Yeah. He's actually nearing to the 200 pop now. He has 169 pop. Yeah, Minimoult needs to get 200 pop and then just take the fight at this point.
That's true, and I just realized Harka never got steel traps on his villagers, so he's been working with an even bigger eco deficit this entire time. He has no stagecoach and no steel traps. And I really wonder why Minimoult isn't more ahead in the army count.
Yeah, that explains the score difference. Yeah, Minimoult should be able to get 200 pop, and these both players are just staying passive, and yeah, I don't know what they're waiting for.
Yeah, they're probably a bit anxious to commit to a big fight, and now also Cav Kuras coming in for Harka, and he's going forward again. Stagecoach is now in. But he still hasn't fixed the steel traps on his villagers. And both players just gonna be sitting here. I don't know what they're thinking. Minimoult really needs to spend his resources.
I don't think he can spend now. He's nearing the 200 pop.
That's right. He doesn't have the range infantry, range cavalry caracol in his on his war wagons just now. And shipping actually Cav HP.
Yeah, this might actually be the go time. There we go, Ulan's going, Ulan's and Warwagons.
Yeah,
But actually, there's a gate there.
Yeah, this gate is just gonna be huge, and I want to see Harka retreat behind that and not take too much damage from the Ulans. But all his Ulans and Warwagons are gonna get caught here. And this is just looking like a very good fight for minimoult. And also, once he's able to clean out these Warwagons, he just can run behind the wall and clean up the skirmishers. And yeah, the lead is starting to show, and also his remess potential is very strong, of course, because he has so many resources stacked. Now pulling onto the eco. And this is going to be a big raid.
Yeah, forcing off the fight due to the villagers there. I think minimoult really got this because of the military advantage.
Exactly, and now Ulan's coming in. This is some decent choke for Harka, and the Ulans are not getting the best positioning, and he's kiting for his life right now.
Yeah, Warwagons is really hard to micro when you get snared.
Yeah, more Warwagons coming in, and the Ulames is finally thinning out. And looks like, but still looks like the military advantage goes to minimoult. More Ulans coming in, and once these Warwagons are cleaned out on the east, these skirmishers are with their back behind the wall, and yeah, minimoult identifies it and sees that he can now just clean up these Jaegers for free. More fighting going on.
It's a pretty convincing win for minimoult.
Well, looking at the mill pop, it's actually still quite even, and the Jaegers, of course, doing big work here, and still some Minutemen in there that have not been killed so far. And yeah, Harka has some Ulans coming, and there's no anti-cav for minimoult now, so he's gonna be able to clean those skirmishers up, and they're kinda trapped here behind the TP and the wall.
Yeah, I think I had a samurai save the whole due to the Jaeger still alive, but the reinforcement from minimoult is definitely gonna just thin this army out, and yeah, it's gonna win.
More Ulans coming in, but now only skirmishers left, and more Ulans coming in for Harka, and this could be what he needs. And also he's mining on on his opponent's side of the map now.
Yeah, he needs to fix his macro. I think he's putting a lot of food, and yeah, the goal is the fight. You need to fight for the goal.
That's true, but he's probably busy microing his heart out, and more reinforcements coming in. Really, the reinforcements coming in big for minimoult. He's able to clean out all the Ulans, and now he again has the advantage. He has been working with 10 more villagers for the past couple minutes, and now more villagers are going down. And yeah, looks like Ulans are not so bad after all. Yeah, more villagers going down, and Harka realizes that he can't work with this economy deficit and resigns. And yeah, that just came down to state coach and an aggressive Aja play from minimoult. And he was of course ahead in resources, also because no steel traps from Harka.
I think Hadamura Samurai did realize that he didn't have steel traps, but yeah, minimoult takes the lead in the series 2-1 now.
Yep.
So we'll be hopping on to next.
I don't know what the overall standing is between the Ninjas and the Mandarin Duck Squad. I think only one series was played so far, or maybe two, and I don't know if another one is going on at the same time right now. But yeah, definitely good for the Mandarin Duck Squad and minimoult to pick up this game.
Yep.
And now again, it's game 4, Harka's moment to pick on the map Adirondacks. And this is a map that has water, and if you neglect the water options, you can get trapped in the corner quite badly here. But he still selects Japan, a quite passive, so to say. And
Japan.
Yep. And of course, to remind the viewers, after game 3 there's a Civ reset, so Harka can play Japan again, and minimoult can play all civilizations he has played before again. And the casters are always playing France, that's a rule.
Only once 2-minute break.
Okay. I think that's fine with everybody to take a quick break.
Yeah,
relax a bit.
Take a quick break, I guess.
This gives me the opportunity to check out the overall standings here. let me reload the page. So the only series that is in the standings right now is the series of Knuschelbeer against King of Osman, which we watched earlier, casted by Harrison and Incorg. And it was quite a good start for Knusch, I think, but King of Osman in the last 2 games managed to even up the series 3-2. And so that means the overall record is actually even right now. It's 4-4 between the Nilla Ninjas and the Mandarin Duck Squad. Having a look at the chat and the Discord, everything seems to be going well so far. The chat is pretty hyped for the Nilla Ninjas. I like to see that. And we need to get some more Mandarin Duck Squad in the emote. But of course, in the Nilla Ninjas, their manager is Azam, quite a popular player, so it's not hard to see why they have such a huge fan base. And I think I'm gonna be taking a quick break as well. Should be like 30 seconds and then we're back.
Looks like Animator's back.
Yep, I'm back as well. And has he selected Germany minimoult, that is, or is that still from the previous game?
No, he hasn't said I locked anything, so.
Alright. Yeah, I don't know if minimoult plays Russia, but this could be a good pick for him on this map. We have seen that earlier in the Knusch against King of Osman series, and yeah, Russia had a quite a good game there, I feel.
I mean, well, can also play France. He didn't win with France.
That's true, although I always feel that Japan against France is quite a tough matchup. For France, you have to be very, very precise, and especially at lower levels, it feels it's a bit more lenient towards the Japanese player, because they can make more mistakes and still come back into the game, while as France, you have to play quite accurate. But looks like minimoult anyway going for France. We're going to be having a repeat matchup in this series as soon as Hatamoto Samurai clicks in.
Yeah, I wonder if he's gonna change his strategy a little bit. Maybe send Sound the Wood first, or.
Yeah, I would like to see that. I don't think the build order he chose last time worked out too well for him, and I think he's not gonna make 40 expos and walk into his opponent's base again.
Yeah, he's probably prepared this time. Probably consulted with his managers and champion.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Alright, and we are hopping into game number 4. It's the Nilla Ninjas against the Mandarin Duck Squad. The score in this series is 2-1 for minimoult, and the overall score between these two teams is 4-4 as far as I am aware. The map is Adirondacks, and the matchup is Japan being played by Harka and France being played by minimoult. And of course this is a very nice map for Japan because they can ship those fishing boats that can just calmly fish on the sea, and also from a port consulate you can get more eco upgrades, and you can even you can get a nice eco that way.
Yep, the ports consulate gives you 3 boats, and also you can ship 3 boats. Yeah, pretty good for Japan here.
Having a quick look at the map, seems perfectly even to me. Mines and food is distributed fairly. 40% Explorer HP here, probably not going to be too interested in picking that up. And I think the big juicy treasures are either on top or in the south of the map, and both players scouting these parts. Looks like 75 wood, that's of course nice for the first shrines for the Japanese player. Gonna be able to pick that up quite easily. Also
the Divine Strike.
Scouting 75 food down here, and was it a... I'm sorry, I did forget to check the wood start. It was a 200 wood start for minimoult, and of course also for the Japanese player, so he's gonna be dropping down a trading post, and he also has spotted an 80 XP treasure over here.
Yeah.
And Harker needs to get his shrine down now. I'm sorry?
I think for Japan it was 300 wood start, not 200.
That's true, they start of course with an extra wood crate. And I wonder where Harker's gonna build his shrine. Probably right here. Oh no, he seems more interested in going for a 75 food treasure right now. While minimoult is taking the 80 XP, and I think it's barely not come into play for his first shipment. He's already almost at it.
Yeah, I think the 75 foot is good for Japan. Okay, Asia pretty good with the 75 foot he picked up.
Yeah, and especially the food treasure again is gonna be enable him to age up that much quicker, and of course the tempo is a thing you lack a little bit as Japan, and every tempo you can get is good for him.
Yes.
Scouting around the map, 135 XP, that's quite worth it, but I think he's gonna pick up the native scout first.
Yeah, the native scout can be annoying. You can just snare the explorer and then deny this training thing because you walk slow. Yeah.
It can't snare anymore, but it's still very annoying, and also provides a lot of map knowledge to identify where the explorers are and where he needs to go to hit them. And looks like the native scout gonna be attacking the garden rickshaw, but not gonna be a big problem. I remember in one tournament game the rickshaw actually went down. It was Ace game against Kaiser Klein, I believe. And Ace game miraculously won that game, even though he lost his cherry orchard H1.
Oh yeah, that's pretty huge actually. 5,000 foot gone.
Yeah. That's quite big, but luckily for Harker, not happening today. And he's aging up at like 245, which is very quick. And he feels so comfortable with that age up time. He doesn't even have a villager on the Wonder, and that of course speeds up his boom now.
Yeah, look at he's just being annoying with this native scouts he got now. Yeah, head over surprise, just losing the explorer HP. Yeah, he forced to go back. He'll TC or he's just running away with it.
But at the same time, he's buying time for his other explorer to shrine down Minimoult's third hand, and that is quite annoying when that happens. Because you of course need that hand for yourself as France, and you have to siege it down. There's no other way around it.
Yeah, that's why he sent the second native scout to get the second explorer, I think. Yeah, he's just going there.
Yeah, but a bit damage has already been done. The shrine has been built, and again we can see that the shipment of choice for Harker and H1 is actually not the 3 fishing boats like we maybe anticipated, but Heavenly Kami.
Oh.
And more shrines going down. He's going to be soon at 60 shrine pop.
Yeah, but look, this time Minimal's going for the second trading post.
Ah, interesting. So maybe a stagecoach play coming in for Minimoult, and if he can hold this third TP, he can build it for sure due to the recent changes. That again gives him the eco advantages that he needs to kind of hold out against the Japanese strong units.
Oh, look at it. He's gonna trying to get that TP, but I think Minimal will get it because he gathered 200 wood.
Yeah, and that's of course a smart play. He has been chopping a ton of wood for this, and has been getting actually only hunting dogs so far. But if you can get those early TPs down without your opponent stealing one, the early stagecoach you get is quite worth it. And of course, if he only builds like 2 TPs, then Harker can build or steal the third one, and then it's quite annoying to deal with that.
Yep.
But of course, Harker is also quite happy to just continue shining the map. He's at 100 Shrine Pop already. I'm no Japanese expert, but that seems like quite a lot. And a semi-aggressive barracks coming down for minimoult, and probably we're gonna see some pikemans again.
Yeah, it looks like he used the export to get the 3 fishing boats, so it makes sense why you send the Kami. You get the 3 fishing boats from the consulate, so.
That's true, and also you don't want to send too many fishing boats because, of course, if you have a look at the players' decks, no frigates and carrots whatsoever in their decks, but it's of course a possibility that the boats get killed at some point.
Did you see the French deck? He has the card with transform explosion skirmishes.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if that's gonna be coming into play. But what I don't want to see is 40 Expo men getting surrounded by Naginata just as they get converted to skirmishers. That would be quite painful.
Yeah, that's not a mistake you want to make again.
Yeah, and 130 Shrine Pop in even more wood in the bank for Harker, and minimoult really needs to start doing something about this. This is a very aggressive Shrine Boom, and he has sent 4 CDB again, and so Stagecoach isn't in again. And I can't help but to feel this is slowing him down a bit. And now just one. No, he has already 2 barracks. Harker that is, and is training Ashes by the looks of it.
Yeah, he sent the 600 coin actually. So let's see what he's doing with that.
Interesting. I am not sure what you do with 600 coin this early on. Since he doesn't have a stable, he only can build samurais or Ashigaru musketeers from that. And now 600 wood, the same build order as we saw last time coming in from minimoult. And the stagecoach is not in A, but I really hope that he has researched it or is starting to research it already.
Yeah, this time he's going for the full pikes batch. He's getting a lot of pikes and sieging shrines.
Yeah, look at that. 1 CDB is grouped in with those pikemen and is helping in the war effort. But yeah, I like the decision from minimoult to train more pikemen. I think 2 batches is much better because they of course siege down so much in the early game, and then you can go for crossbowmen and try to deny your opponent the military. And stagecoach is in for him now, so military unit population is quite even so far, and some Ashigaru musketeers zoning off the pikemen. It looks like he still hasn't noticed that the CDB. Oh, now he has noticed that the CDB was grouped with the pikemen. But still, 160 Shrine Pop for Harker. This is quite a healthy economy he has assembled so far.
Oh, 600 coin again. So he's going to age up with the.
Interesting. More of a techie play this time coming out, so minimoult pretty much doing the exact same thing as he did last game with some minor alterations, but Harker switching it up completely. He's gonna age up to the Fortress age, which he did not do in the last game.
Yeah.
And these villagers of minimoult still don't have Placer Mind, which is a bit of a mistake, I feel, because he has the resources for that, especially since he sends 700 wood, 600 wood, and the stagecoach probably also is on wood. So he really should be getting those market upgrades in.
Yeah, I expect him to see Adam stable, but yeah, he needs to realize what Japan is doing right now.
Yeah, he has a native scout positioned very nicely in the back of his opponent's base, but he doesn't see the wonder just yet. And what wonder is he aging up with actually?
The golden pavilion, I think.
Yeah, that's the most standard thing to do, I think.
Yeah, you get the 6 Yumis. Oh wait, he allied with the Spanish consulate.
Oh, can you get Rodolera from that?
I don't think you get Rodolers. You get the Teriko pikemen. He didn't have the intervention though. His deck.
That sucks. That would be so cool if you could get some Rodoleros. But yeah, more sieging going down. Yeah.
Yeah, you have the Silk Road in Spanish consulate, and also you have the fast arrival of shipments. So let's see. Also, you have the XP one. Also, you can research.
Okay. So yeah, not a bad consulate at all, and also an interesting choice. And the Shrine Pop now has declined quite a bit for Harker. He's at 110 only. And minimoult recognizes that he has to age up as well, and luckily he has some pikemen to defend against potential Naginatas.
Yeah, this time he's prepared for that.
And yeah, he has been able to clean out the entire top part of the map, so he can hunt freely for quite a while. And also the stagecoach is giving him an economic lead, although Harker has cleaned out this one. I would like to see him take it, but still as 10 score lead for minimoult, which is a decent advantage.
It looks like he's gonna push for dashies. He's upgrading his dashies, and probably we might see 2 flaming arrows soon.
Yeah, although I'm not sure if you want to push this aggressively if you're not sure your opponent is in. Of course, now he knows that minimoult was actually aging. And oh, do you know what? He is actually going for that card which converts skirmishers, bowmen into pikemen, because he has trained more bows in transition, which is not a thing you usually do. But he really...
So he's gonna use the card.
Yeah. And I'm not sure how much resources this is, or how much this is worth, or at which point, how many crossbowmen you need to make this worth. But it's also worth a lot because of the surprise factor. But 2 flaming arrows coming out from Harker, and this is of course the exact counter to minimoult strat. Harker isn't aware of that just yet, or maybe has seen that in the deck and anticipates it. But a ton of skirmishers now on the field. But they're not gonna do too much against the flaming arrows, and the Rexes of minimoult are under pressure.
Yep.
And Dragoons are in queue, which is good. I don't want to see him get surprised by Naginata Riders again. So far none in queue for Harker, but this is a potential tech switch that he has to be prepared for.
Yep.
2 flaming arrows again. And I think he really needs artillery now to deal with this. He just, the Ashes just will zone off any cavalry that comes near the flaming arrows. Explorer coming in for some tanking potential, and he's getting some good picks on the Ashigarus.
Yeah, I think that was fair trade. The flaming arrows landed a shot on skirmishers. So
Yeah,
pretty fairly traded there.
Even trade, and because he has trained so many skirmishers, the stagger mode isn't really working out anymore. They are still packed quite tightly together. And I also would like to see minimoult get an arsenal and get counter infantry rifling, because that's just 50% damage increase against basically everything his opponent has except for the flaming arrows.
Yeah, that's also the thing I like to see from minimoult, but I think he's gonna ship 2 falcons himself. Oh, he's making Artillery Foundry.
Yeah, I like this. I think against 4 flaming arrows that are next to each other, you the Falks are not just not gonna be enough. And yeah, if he makes culverins, he's although then very vulnerable to Naginatas.
Yeah, there we go. 2 falconets coming in.
And we will probably see a culverin in the queue as soon as he reaches 400 coin, or maybe even more falconets. No, a culverin is in queue. And if he can hold this for a bit, he will be able to surprise Harker quite well with this, because I don't think Harker has scouted the artillery foundry.
Yeah. Also, he needs to make Red Dragoons, because now he got the 5 Naginatas.
Some Dragoons are on the field somewhere, and 5 Naginatas have been shipped by Harker actually. They're going forward, so minimoult now definitely knows that they are there. But Flaming Arrow is getting some good shots. And 2 culverins in the queue, we're probably gonna see them pop out very soon. And then it has to be go time for minimoult, because he has lost the stagecoach control quite a bit. Second TP actually coming down for Harker. And he is working with such a big economic lead right now. He's retrying the top of the map, which his military advantage allows him to do. So minimoult is really pressured to do something here. Yeah, the Nagi's going in for a raid. They probably know that villagers have to be on top here. Not finding the CDBs just yet, and looks like they're just going to be parked on top of this hunt and not finding any villagers so far. Let's have a look.
I think he got distracted by the fight over here. There was some
yeah, he got distracted. Has he seen the culverins though? This is a big part of the information game right here. And judging by how careful he is, he probably knows that they are there.
I'm not sure.
And this is
I
still going
think.
on.
Yeah, that's really so close to getting caught.
They must be just barely out of range of just running there themselves and attacking. Now the Falc's sieging down the TP in the middle, but it already got a pass, so it has probably almost paid off for itself, especially if Harker can
Oh,
hold it.
2 more flags.
That's big, and of course against wow, huge volleys coming in from the flaming arrows. The skirmish is going a bit out of position, and he really needs to be more careful with these, and they don't have arsenal upgrades just yet. Carver's coming forward. Can they snipe the flaming arrows? Falconet doing not too much damage to the Ashigaru.
You need to micro this.
Yeah.
Why did he pull his Falc's back?
The Falc's
Oh, no.
are out of position now, and 3 flaming arrows still up, and 1 Culverin is gonna go almost down. No, they're actually getting good shots on the flaming arrows. One is very low HP. And yeah, the score, the military pop has turned around quite a bit now. It was Harker in the advantage, but due to his Culverin and Falk switch, he has the upper hand right now. And yes, a nice skirmisher coming out to scout where the flaming arrows are exactly, so that he can position his artillery accordingly.
Yeah, minimoult doesn't have any racks yet, so he needs to protect his skirmishers as much as he can, because this is the army he has left. So he needs to be really careful with his units.
Yeah, and we can see Naginatas in the queue. Harker has identified this composition is incredibly weak to cavalry, and minimoult is not catching on to that. He has shipped 5 dragoons now, but no dragoons in the queue, and this is a little bit, it's a little thin for an anti-cav force, I feel. He's now putting the pressure onto the shrines, and looks like the Naginatas from earlier just were called back, or actually has minimoult lost some CDBs. No, only 3 so far, so no super big raids have been happening. And he has rebuilt the TP, so he is at an economic disadvantage, but nothing too grave if he can get some good trades here.
Yeah, Japan's getting the pikeman. He's just researching it. I think Japan should honestly get the Yabuzami, and then he can kill the artillery pretty convincingly.
That's true. The Yamuzame are just so strong against artillery. They do like, yeah, they just run in, sniper Falk, run out, and then repeat that 3 times, and all your artillery is gone, and you can't do anything about it. And I also do want to mention a second TC coming up for minimoult. He's setting up for the longer game, and he has actually, I think that wood just came from the TPs, because he hasn't shipped any wood shipments.
Yes.
And at this point, probably also worth to ship 1000 coin to get more artillery and more units out.
Yeah, I think minimoult should push on the map, because look at this villagers. After this hunt, all the other hunts are just shrines, so soon he needs to push out and take out those shrines.
That's quite right. He's getting starved more and more for resources, so minimoult has to make a play happen soon. The Tertius, unfortunately, getting picked up by the Falks. That happens when you don't have Rodaleros. But at the same time, Harker now realizes that his opponent is on the bottom of the map and makes a push onto these resources, and it's not hard to guess that villagers are gonna be here.
Yeah.
How did these Nagis actually get 396 HP? They are only disciplined, which gives them 60 more. And
he put the shrine on the HP one.
Ah, that's why. And unfortunately for him, villagers going down and dragoons also getting picked off. That's the important anti-cav force that he needs against the big Naginatas that Harker has here. And now he's getting zoned off completely off the top of the map. And the recalculated economic population is looking more and more grim for the French player.
Yeah, that's a crazy mass of Japan units there, and yeah, now he's forced to move to south and get the resources. Yeah, this is the time where the French player needs to make something happen, to kill the shrines and take the map, or yeah, Japan is just gonna get more units out, and it's a problem.
Yeah, I almost wonder if that time maybe has already passed. Has he waited too long? He's getting some good picks on the units here, catching them out of position. And if he can cut off the Japanese army right here with his artillery, I mean, then he maybe can get a good trade, but he's going back. He's not confident in his ability to win a fight.
Oh, Oh, here we go. The daimyo's coming in. So
Wow, another buff coming in for the Japanese, and his army is becoming more and more unstoppable. And as of course, against so many Ashigaru Musketeers, the best unit of the French, the Gendarme or the Cuirassier, is not going to be too strong. Arsenal now coming in for their Dragoons. They get their more attack and more range, and also counter infantry rifling, which is very big against these Ashigaru. So the French army is still quite potent here, but of course outmassed.
yeah, outmassed and also out ecoed. Yeah, he's sitting on 200 pop actually, the Japan guy.
Yeah, he's gonna be just going in soon, and also very nicely positioning some Ashigarus on this coin mine to deny resource gathering.
Oh,
And it looks like it's go time. This artillery positioning now matters a lot. They are in between the coin mine and the trading post, and they have to set up now. Unfortunately, the Dragoons now have to block, and oh, a big mispositioning coming in from minimoult, and the Naginatas actually get on top of the artillery because the Dragoons ran out too far. And flaming arrows, Yumi archers are now raining down fire upon everything that the French player has, and the economic unit population is just dwindling and dwindling. Daimyo going down, that's a nice pickup, but it's probably not gonna matter. The military mass of Japan is just so strong here.
that was pretty unfortunate and total disaster when we knew all this artillery just now lost.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty hard for him to make something happen.
Yeah, that fight needed to go perfectly for him, and unfortunately it didn't. It went quite poor, and now his resources are getting pressured, villagers are going down, he's 30 villagers behind, he has no army whatsoever, and this looks like the game is won by Harcha quite soon.
Yep. Oh, the 5 verses are coming, but I don't think it's gonna do much here.
Yeah, there's still quite a big number of Ashigaru Musketeers, and these Naginatas, they don't have their broken Nagi HP card up just yet, but they're still quite tanky. And of course, more units just wins.
Yeah,
Yumi
this
have
is
way of the
GG.
bow, 20 range, and a ton of HP and attack. And yeah, this is GG. So Harka evening out the series 2-2. So if Minimoult wants to even it out again, he has to win the next game. And of course, Harcha has the opportunity to pull his team ahead.
Yep. So minimal picks the next map, I think.
I think so,
That's
yes.
right. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
looking
so
at the
Hanaru
resource.
Samurai
Yes?
sound bug. Alright.
Okay, he has to restart this game. Looking at the resources graph, you can just see a massive outgathering coming in from Harka. And right about this time was probably the last moment where France had the possibility to do something happen at the 18-minute mark, around that. But after that, just upgrades came rolling in for the Japanese player, and his mass kept growing and growing. And he did get a good fight at 50 minutes, but it unfortunately wasn't enough to offset the big eco disadvantage.
Yeah.
Also bleeding out some villagers here and there over the game. That's of course something that happens if your villagers get exposed on the map, but not something you like to see, especially against Japan, whose villagers are very safe in their base pretty much for the entire game.